Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Life According to Cree, the podcast. As always, I am your host, Cree Cole, and this is a space where we have real life conversations about life, love, relationships, and them truths we sometimes have to learn the hard way. Okay, so if you've been taking this ride from me since Life According to Cree, the podcast has returned, this episode is going to be a little bit different. Okay, it's going to be a little bit different. I know it's not Sunday. I know it's not Sunday, but the reason why it's not Sunday and why we're talking tonight is because this right here is Cree said what? Mm-hmm. This will be our weekly segment where we talk about what everybody else online is talking about, but we actually gonna tell the truth about it. So whether you're a member of my TikTok family, my Instagram family, my Threads family, not so much that Facebook family, but if you're a member of my Facebook family, this is the night for you because this is the night where we gonna get into it. And just remember, I said what I said. Late last week, over the weekend, over in the Facebook streets, a creator by the name of Liz Bryan put out a list of tests that a man should put a woman through before marrying her. The creator's name is Liz Bryan. I'll put it out here. There you go right there. Liz Bryan. So the post over in my neck of the woods on Facebook has been going viral. So let's talk about it. Okay, so the original conversation is about marriage. It's about marriage. But here's what I want to do a little differently tonight. Y'all see the background? It's nighttime. What I want to do a little bit differently tonight is I want to take the conversation in a different direction because truth is, most of us aren't even struggling at the marriage stage. We're struggling at the relationship stage. So instead of waiting until marriage, like to have this conversation, we're going to bring it all the way back to the beginning, to what it really looks like to enter into a committed relationship the right way. Because if you're not ready for commitment, marriage isn't going to fix that. It's just going to expose it. So first, I'm going to be looking at my screen because I don't want to misquote nobody. So we're going to do a little recap of the original post. So it was centered around tests a man should use before marrying a woman. And the list looked like test her when you're broke, test her when she's angry, test her when you need her, test if she'll submit, and test her discipline. And the idea behind it was pretty simple. Watch how she responds in different situations so you can decide if she's worthy of marriage. And again, it was originally framed around marriage. But we're bringing the conversation back to the beginning and what it looks like to be in a committed relationship the right way. And that was the basic outline of the post. It started out, say, with the test as being the 5 things that you should do. Then in the comments, of course, because it's Facebook, down in the comments, there were 5 different posts, 5 different comments listing those things that I just went over with you. And those are all real things because loyalty matters, emotional control matters, support matters, discipline matters. The way that it's framed, mm, that's the part that gave me a little bit of pause. That's the way to get, because it turns relationships into performance reviews. And if there's one thing that I've learned, I'll say since since we got back out in the streets after the pandemic, if it's one thing that I've learned is that nobody, men, women, him, her, them, they, us, nobody likes being tested. There are countless videos, there are countless panels, podcast panels of men and women, all men debating the standards and the list and the test that people are putting them through or that are viral that people are seeing on the internet taking and then applying to their real lives, not knowing that not all of the steps that one person took to get to where they wanted to be are the steps that you need to take to get to where you want to be. And I ain't gonna lie to you. For me, anytime I feel like I gotta test somebody in order to see what it's gonna be, it low key gives games to me. And sometimes I am down with a little bit of nit nat patty whack. But anytime I gotta like test them to see if da 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 whatever and what have you, and I'm just not vibing, and we're not just going through our natural progressions, and me being able to see different things as they come, I feel like I'm already in the wrong place. When I feel like, oh, okay, we ain't been through this yet, or we ain't had a conversation about this yet, so let me do this to see what he do. I mean, maybe it's an age thing, But unfortunately, the conversations, because I even went to the creator's page, and we are in two different age groups. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I know with the way that the internet works and the virality of it, I saw people on my timeline, people in my age group, sharing it. Some of them sharing it, saying like married people going, "Yeah, babe, you passed. My baby passed all them tests." While some of them was like, "Ladies, y'all need to pay attention." When the truth of the matter is, instead of asking, is she ready for marriage? Or even, are you ready for a relationship? Let's flip this. Because the viral post is focused on evaluating someone else. But the real question is, am I ready to be in a committed relationship? Because commitment isn't about evaluating somebody else like you're there in a job interview. It's about becoming someone who can actually sustain what you're asking for. And for shits and giggles, we're going to take some of them tests and we're going to flip them. We're going to flip them. Smack down, flip it, and reverse it. And I want y'all to follow along with me because the real question is, do you fit the bill? So number one, test her when you're broke. Test her when you broke. When you when you want to start testing her, instead of testing her when you're broke, how about you give yourself a stability check? Before I expect someone to stay with me through the hard times, have I built anything that shows I can move through hard times? Can I handle pressure? Can I manage money? Am I creating a plan or just hoping someone will struggle with me? Because let me tell you something. As far as out here in these streets are concerned, from 22 to 102, ain't too many. Say they're rare, because you know y'all like that rare. It is rare that you're gonna find in this 2026 and beyond somebody who won't struggle love. Struggle love was a big thing, big conversation. What about 2022, 2023? And let me tell you something. Am I willing to help somebody get to something that they want? Absolutely. Am I willing to do certain things like actually put in money, time, effort, energy, all the things into my mate, getting the things that they want to have? Absolutely. But you got to have a plan. You got to have a plan. You just can't tell me, oh, babe, there once was a time. There once was a time. Tell y'all a quick story. Once was a time, my man said, you know what, I want a lawn business. That's all he had to say. That's all he had to say. Within 30 days, he had a booking website, business cards, flyers, estimate sheets. Oh, child, tell you something. This bitch in love, this bitch in love. That was, I want to say that was 22-year-old Crystal, but that was 32-year-old Crystal. That was 32-year-old Cree. Okay? But now, at 45-year-old Cree, baby, you got to have a plan. It's another thing to actually be living in chaos and call it a test. Okay? Number two on the list. Number two on the list was test her when she's angry. Test her when she's angry. And I challenge that with before you test her when she's angry, how about you do an emotional maturity test of your own? Ask yourself, how do I act when I'm upset? How do I act up? Do I shut down? Do I lash out? Do I say things that I can't take back? Or do you know how to communicate without being disrespectful? Do you know how to do that? Because the thing about it is, let's say it's unbalanced. Let's say you find that woman who is able, say, who doesn't shut down, who doesn't lash out, who doesn't go below the belt, right? But you haven't checked that within yourself. Now, every time y'all have a confrontation or you all have a heated discussion, you a whole nigga. You's a whole nigga. You don't do that. You don't do that. And she, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Because you don't get to require emotional control from someone else if you haven't practiced it yourself. And being in an actual relationship, a committed relationship with somebody, being when you decide to try to implement some of the things you heard, some of the things you thought people said, some of the things you saw online, that ain't it. That ain't it. I'm sorry. That ain't it. No woman deserves to be your punching bag. The same as none of you deserve to be a woman's punching bag while you're trying to figure out you. Emotional maturity is something that you should be practicing every day of your life. Whether you're doing it with your parents, whether you're doing it with your kids, whether you're doing it with your friends, whether you're doing it with your girlfriends, your homeboys, whoever, whether you're doing it with the people at your job when they get on your nerves. That is something that you can practice and manage. Figure out your highs and your lows, find out your breaking points, the things that make you feel better, the things that make you calm down. Those are all things that you can work on before you ever get into a relationship. And then once you're in that committed relationship, that is when you test you. That is your test to see how you're going to react when it's somebody that you actually care about and that you're in love with. Hole number three. Number three. Number three was test her when you need her. Yeah, they do. I mean, it just feels like manipulation. I promise you, if a woman put out a list of this caliber, the red pill, the old schoolers, all of them would be on that bitch neck. You hear me? They would be on that bitch neck. So what I suggest with number three, testing her when you need her, would do a presence check. Mine, let's make sure that we follow. When I point down here, this is what you should be doing before you ever do this. You with me? Okay. So ask yourself, when people need me, do I show up? Am I supportive? Am I dependable? Am I consistent? Because love isn't proven when everything is easy. It's proven in how you show up when it could cost everything. That's when you know how you really show up. If you're the type of person and you've been shit, with all your friends, all your family, you got that attitude of shit. I done told them one time. Yeah, we already talked about this before. We done talked about this before. No, I ain't going to fuck over there. Hell no. No, I ain't called. No, no, no. I don't need to sit on the phone with all that foolishness. If that is how you handle your platonic relationships, your family relationships, where you're at, where you only got this much, and if they don't listen to you, you done. Before you go aggravating that woman, before you go worrying that woman, trying to see whether or not how she act, if you need her, you might want to reevaluate how you show up for us. Take this list. My list ain't about nobody else. My list is about you. And yes, the reason why I'm reading it like this is because the original post was something that men should do to gauge women and to test women. You know, I don't too much be fooling up with the men folk. That's why I keep it. This can go both ways. We're gonna get into number four. Number four. Test if she will submit. And submit is a strong word. So that word submit, I know that word submit has probably ruined more relationships than it helped grow. I'm sure the word submit has has caused catastrophic arguments that started off about the word submit, but went into dishes, toilet paper, and that time that motherfucker ain't answering the phone. I'm sure the word submit has done that because I know the word submit has done that in my world. That word submit has done that in my dating life. Just off GP conversation, getting to know you conversation. How do you feel about submitting? Submitting to what? I just submitted an application to start my sociology classes. Submit to what? You mean like to you as a person? If you took you, because I submitted my life and my heart and my soul to Jesus. So I suggest before you ever try to see if she'll submit, you take a minute and give yourself a trust and leadership test. Do a little trust and leadership check on thyself. Because let's talk about this one. And only because, like I said, the word submission gets thrown around a lot. And I feel like it's thrown around as a buzzword to get a negative reaction. Almost to the point where when a woman actually does understand what submission to her husband should look like and would look like, that the people who are trying to get submission prior to marriage are like side down, like, what that bitch talking about? The fuck? But nobody talks about the kind of energy that is being offered in return. That's my biggest issue with it. You get on there, you make you a little minute, 2 minute video talking about how you want a woman to submit to you, and nowhere in that 2 minute video do you list all the things that you are giving, the type of leadership that you are providing, the type of space what you have prepared in order for this woman to feel secure enough to submit to what you have going on and your way of thinking and your way of life. I mean, I promise you, the videos will go over way better, way better. Like this part of this post would have went over way better if it was if it also gave a list. Here's the thing: even we're on number 4, but with all of these, if this creator for me, if this creator would have been like, yeah, test stuff for this, but make, like doing what we're doing right now, I would have been cool. I would have been cool. I wouldn't have seen no reason to make nobody. But that ain't what happened. That ain't what happened. So when you're doing your trust and leadership check, ask yourself these questions: am I trustworthy? When you say to yourself, am I trustworthy? Don't say, am I trustworthy in relationships? Am I trustworthy overall? I'm single right now. I ain't in no relationship. But do my friends and family see me as a trustworthy person? Do my coworkers see me as a trustworthy person? If I go to church, do my clergy see me as a trustworthy person? Am I a trustworthy person? The last question that you ask yourself with that trustworthiness is, because you know better than anybody else, do I know I lie and kick bullshit? And everybody else just thinks they can trust me? Do I know I be full of shit? Do I know I be full of shit? Next question. Do I make sound decisions? Do I make sound decisions? Even if that decision led you on a path opposite of where you thought it was gonna go. Was it a sound decision? Was it a well-planned, mapped out decision that just made a bad turn? Or were you flying by the seat of your fucking pants? Did some bullshit and then had to recoup and recover? However you got to where you had to recoup to recover, what was that process, and was that made with sound mind, planning, and execution? Because that makes a difference. And then I ask yourself, do I bring peace? Do I bring peace? Because one of the things the dudes talk when they start talking about submission, and another very popular phrase they like to use, like, be my peace. Do you bring peace? In your relationships, not past prior relationships that went this way, in your everyday relationships, have you ever entered into a space with another person and been able to just see their demeanor change for the better? Do you have that type of effect on other people? It ain't even got to be people that you're related to in a relationship with, none of that. But when you enter into spaces, do, do room shift for the better, or do they shift for the worse? Do you bring peace or do you bring confusion? Ask yourself that. In different situations that you've been in different spaces that you've been in, did it turn up or did it turn down? I don't think some of y'all ready. I'm sure some of y'all ain't ready. And last but not least on Mr. List was test her discipline. And I say, rather than testing her discipline, you check your habits. You check your own habits. What do my habits say about me? How do I handle money? What do I do with my bread? Good or bad? How do I handle money? How do I take care of my health? Do I know that annual, ANNUAL, and anal, ANAL, are two different words with two different meanings? Do we know that an annual exam and an anal exam are two motherfucking different things? Do we know that? Do we know that? Have we Googled it? Is the fact, if just like you said, wait a minute, what the fuck you say? If you just say that to yourself, have you not gone to get an ANNUAL exam because you were scared the doctor was gonna put their finger up your butt? And last but not least, in that habit check, how do I manage my emotions? I got so tickled about the other one because I made a video on TikTok. You might have checked it out. And I was like, because I did not know. I did not know. I had to stitch the video because I did not know that there were men who did not know the difference between anal and anal. They didn't know the difference between anal and anal. And even if they could, like, it has to be that they just weren't pronouncing it right. They were leaving out that you, even if they didn't know it was two ends, they were definitely leaving out the you. That's neither here nor there. Also, ask yourself, how do I manage my emotions? Because relationships don't fix a lack of discipline. Like, you're not gonna get with her and then all of a sudden, because she's disciplined, you're gonna be disciplined. It don't even work like that with motherfucking siblings. It don't even work like that with siblings. It definitely ain't finna work with a motherfucker that you found out on the street. Two different damn people. What I do can influence you, but does not guarantee that you're going to do the same. Just like what I eat don't make you shit. But like I was saying, relationships don't fix lack of discipline. They expose it. So before you go running off talking about let me check her and make sure, and then you stamp her approval, make sure that you can live up to the standards in which you want a mate to have. Make sure that you can do that. And whatever you are now is exactly what you're going to be in that relationship. Just a whole hell of a lot louder. Your singleness kept a little covering over you. You know, people might have thought things about you, might have assumed things about you, but they didn't know it. But that woman that's in that relationship with you, she gonna absolutely positively know it. And hopefully you have a bitch like me to give you enough grace, not shit you up out in the streets, let you live your life. With the way the internet flow now, ain't so many bitches out there doing that no more. So before you start running, going to go try to test somebody else, run a few on yourself, because the real question isn't can they handle me? Is am I someone worth building with? Because the version of you that enters the relationship is the version that has to sustain it. And if the version of you that you are, the person that you are, is a person that is filled with chaos, you will have a relationship that is absolutely positively filled with chaos. And as that leader, as the head, as the guess what? Guess what? That's on you. A lot of y'all wouldn't like to admit it, but that's on you. What you don't work on prior to get to the relationship that cause that if it makes the relationship inflammatory, that doesn't get healed, that doesn't at least get some type of understanding, that will be the very thing that carries on throughout your relationship and makes your relationship difficult. Because you're expecting for someone to come in and be able to manage and maintain the things that you yourself did not put forth the effort to manage and maintain. So I'm gonna be real with y'all for a second. After a 6-year relationship, I had no desires to be in another relationship. None whatsoever. And it wasn't just because of what happened in that relationship. It was because I saw myself after it ended. It was the first time where I had enough quiet, open, uninterrupted space to really take a look at myself. Because for the first time, I was alone. Like, really alone, away from family, away from friends. It was just me and my damn choices. And as much as I wanted to be mad with that damn man, I couldn't stop questioning myself. And we get into spaces when we get in our little girl groups, little sisters chats and all that, where we tell each other, don't blame yourself. It ain't your fault. Listen, what he did ain't your fault. But what you accepted is definitely all you. What I accepted and how I treated myself was not conducive to a healthy relationship. Like, what I was doing prior to the relationship was not conducive to being in a healthy one. Not at all. And honestly, it played a major role in the demise of that relationship. Now, yes, he did what he did, and he wasn't shit for doing what he did. But if I'm gonna keep it real, had I done the work on myself before the relationship ever started, there's a strong chance I would have never been in that motherfucker. Because throughout my 20s, I struggled financially, physically, emotionally. And don't get me wrong, I had some amazing things in my life. But debt, job instability, not having the education for the roles that I wanted, being a single mom, all of that shaped the men that I chose and what I was willing to accept. Now, let's be clear. It wasn't my family. It wasn't my upbringing. I was the choices I made as an adult. By the time I got to my 30s, that is where I was at with it. I had rose and fell so many times, so many times, and not even getting anything, negative said to me or beat down or anything for my shortcomings because I felt them. I felt them. I was chasing the dream of what I thought I wanted a relationship to look like, while also living in the reality that I hadn't fully taken responsibility for. I kept telling myself I could get it, would get it, should get it, but I was never actually fully doing the work to actually get it. And if I'm 100% honest, I want somebody else to get it for me. I want somebody else to get it for me. Because what I had experienced most in life, I was a mom, I was over 30, and I still had the desire for somebody else to take care of me. The way that my parents took care of me, the way the rest of my family took care of me. So what did I do? I connected with someone who wanted the same thing. Somebody to take care of their motherfucking ass. Usher in struggle love. And I ain't gonna, don't get me wrong. He went out of his way to get me the shit that I want and the things that I need. But with the least amount of effort on his part. And I accepted it. And not because I didn't know better, but because truthfully, I was operating in the same way. Like that was part of our life and our relationship that nobody saw. And the part that I didn't fully see until it was over. Like, but once I did, that's when everything changed because that level of honesty with myself forced growth, like real growth. I started taking care of my health better. I lost 80 pounds. Yeah, I'm looking real portly. I'm looking real portly right now. I am. Looking a little burly, sounding a little burly. But that's post hysterectomy burly. Don't get it twisted, okay? I pushed forward in my education. I became more financially stable. I became more spiritually grounded after that relationship and having that time with just me, myself, and God. Baby, there was nowhere else to go. And I started becoming a better version of myself. I started becoming the version of myself that you know all know now. Or you're just being able to me now. That is when Cree that to be honest with you, that's when Cree Cole was born. Cause I wasn't Crystal no more. I wasn't little Crystal no more. I wasn't his girlfriend. I wasn't so and so ex. Mm-mm. I was Cree. And I promise you there's nobody else I'd rather be right now. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Like once I was started becoming the version of myself that I was meant to be, like I started to live some of the things out that I had been dreaming about. Not hoping someone built it for me, but becoming someone who could build it and sustain it. Like I tell people when I talk about my transition and they think it's like some triumphant story from heartbreak. The man did you wrong. The man did me wrong, and this was the result of it. I dropped the 80 pounds. Matter of fact, I need to insert. I don't need to insert a picture. Go to my Facebook. Life According to Cree. The pictures are there. The pictures are there. I'm not inserting no pictures. But I did something like I lost the weight. I lost all the weight. My hair always here. My this from childhood. I could not keep my hair done. But I lost all the weight. I started living better. I started doing more things. I started experiencing more things. I started opening myself up to different opportunities, putting myself out there into the world for other people to see, all the things that I had built up inside of me. And I can tell you right now, I know there's another transition ahead, but right now there's no place I'd rather be. There's no other person I would rather be. There's not a single person's life that I look at, even with the things that I'm lacking now, because I am still and will continue to be a work in progress. Now, the hard truth about commitment, because I've been committed, almost everybody around me is committed. My parents are committed. 46 years this year. The hard truth about commitment is a relationship is not just about feelings. It's about emotional responsibility, consistency, self-awareness, and accountability. And if you haven't practiced those things while dating, being in a relationship ain't gonna teach them to you. Like I said, it's gonna expose it. A lot of people don't know the difference between actually being ready to be in a committed relationship versus having a desire to be in a committed relationship. A lot of people want a relationship. A lot of people want to be able to get online. I promise you, it's more online. It's more about being online, being online and being able to show that you got somebody, that you to be able to change your damn relationship status. Like we back on goddamn MySpace or some shit. It's more about being able to say I got a man than it is about actually doing what's necessary in order to maintain said relationship. Like wanting something and being prepared for it are two totally different things. Two totally different things. And before you go jumping into a relationship, ask yourself, do I know how to stay when things aren't comfortable? When things start getting uncomfortable, what do I do? In my single life, when things get uncomfortable, what do I do? When my family getting on my nerves, what do I do? When my job is getting on my nerves, what do I do? When I feel uncomfortable, how do I react? Do I take accountability or do I shift the blame? Is it like can I talk about where I fucked up without having to say, but you know, you did such and such and such? Can I do that? Ask yourself that. Do I know how to resolve conflict without shutting down and blowing up? Because whether you shut down or you blow up, same energy to me. Same either way it goes, we can't communicate. There's nothing that can be said until you either start talking or quiet the fuck down. Or quiet the fuck down. Because I'm not finna keep asking you because you heard me. You heard me, and you know I want to know. And I'm not finna be in a screaming match with you, trying to outdig you. I ain't doing it. And a lot of people ain't doing it. And am I ready to grow with someone? Not just be loved by them. Do I want to experience every day, every moment, every hour, whether physically with them, spiritually tied to them, emotionally tied to them? Am I willing to grow with someone? Not just be loved by them. Because that's the thing that I struggle with, and I promise you, I could not get people to fucking understand. Can I get a man? Yes. Would that man, a man that I actually felt like was deserving for us to be in a relationship, do I believe that that man would stand with me and love me and give me what I need? Absolutely. I've never experienced anything from a man any different. I've never had a relationship break up because I wasn't loved. That's never been the case. I might not have got treated right, but the motherfuckers love me. Still love me. Shut up, Crystal. Shut up, girl. Shut up. But am I willing to grow with somebody? And I kept trying to tell people at the beginning of me living the single life that I'm living, that I didn't want to get a man because I knew that even if that person loved me to death, I wasn't in a space to reciprocate that to someone. And I thought that was unfair. I promise you, I know I done told this story 100 times. My people looked at me like, bitch, you stupid. They looked at me like, bitch, you stupid. And I be stupid. Because I would much rather be stupid than a nigga be running around or sitting at the dinner table because everybody got their man at Christmas dinner or whatever. And then the nigga going outside and he's talking about how I get on his motherfucking nerves and I don't give a fuck about shit, bitten to the other day of men, and then them coming pillow talking with y'all asses. About how fucked up I am in my relationship when I told you bitches I ain't want one. I'm just saying. Like you like fuck out of here with that. Fuck out of here with that. I know what I'm going to do, and what I'm going to do is not going to be good for the person who's giving me all of their love and attention. It's not going to be good for them. I love people too much to put somebody through that. I'm exposed to many good people, too many men with beautiful spirits. To, I'm exposed to so many generous men who give more than they receive from us. I'm telling you. And it would be wrong. Me knowing, they ain't gonna be able to love me out of what the fuck I got going on in here and in here. And I get into some shit with them. Tragic, dishonest. And that's just not me. That's just not me. That's like telling somebody you'll grow to love them. Like back in the day when they used to arrange marriages for people. Eventually, y'all will start like, we ain't the fucking royal family. You like doing that shit. But the real standard, the real question isn't, are they the right person? Is, am I showing up as the right person? Am I? So before we go trying to check other people, the first thing we need to do is make sure that we check ourselves. Check yourself. Don't make any excuses for yourself. When you say, I do this, I do that, bitch, that's what the fuck you really be doing. Nigga, that's what you really be doing. No excuses. Only research and elevation. So the next time you see a post telling you to test someone before a marriage or test someone before a relationship, pause. Pause. Because the better question is, who are you before the relationship even begins? Because a healthy relationship isn't about finding the right person. It's about being prepared to sustain what you're asking for. And cut. And cut. That is your first episode of Cree Said What? Because we're not just reacting to what's trending. We're going to make sure that motherfucking shit makes sense, okay? That's what we're going to do over here on Tuesday nights. Don't get it twisted. Life According to Cree, the podcast does still air, will still air each Sunday night at 7 p.m. right over here on YouTube, same channel, Life According to Cree TV. So make sure that you're checking out the weekly episodes, and the Life According to Cree platform with the Empower 365 challenges and Life Check challenges. They go hand in hand, baby. They go hand in hand. So if you're subscribed to the podcast, you're also subscribed over there on the website. Sunday night is the night to have your self-reflection in becoming a better person. Tuesday, just know I said what the fuck I said. If this episode made you pause, if it made you reflect, or even check yourself a little bit, make sure that you're subscribed because we're having real conversations like this every single Tuesday night. I might even get a little flashy one night and decide I want to do a live and actually fuck with y'all like that. But until next time, well, shit. Nah. See y'all Sunday. Bye.